Hi everyone, welcome to the Mama Elephant YouTube channel. This is Rena. I hope this video finds you well. Today we're going to take a look at some of the products in the May 15th release. First up, we have My Pet Puppies. This is illustrated by Ada Zamora. And of course, you know, I always like to pick my favorite image, and I am loving that little French bulldog. I love the sentiments on the stamp set. Also, there's a stamp with 3 little dots, and those are fleas, which you can pair up with that dog who is scratching his back. Here's a look at the coordinating dies for My Pet Puppies. Next up, we have a new Creative Cuts die. This is Frilly window frame. I love the backdrop that it cuts out. It also cuts out a window, and those 2 window panels open up. And there's also a cute little shutter detail if you would like to use it. I'm going to start off by coloring the images in this set. This is the dog that you can pair the flea stamp with. So I'm using Bristle Smooth cardstock stamped with Versa Fine Onyx Black ink, and I'm using my Zigs today, my Zig Real Clean Color brush markers, and I'm just using 2 colors here for the dog: Sugared Almond Pink for the pink details and blush for the fur color. This little goofy guy is going to be colored in pale pink, and also the pink details are going to be in the sugared almond pink color. So always swatch your markers or whatever color medium you have, because sometimes the name doesn't really match with the color, because I don't think of this color as pale pink. So it's just very important to swatch, because sometimes even the cap color doesn't match the name. You have to really look at what a swatch looks like. So this little guy is so super cute. I'm coloring him in, I believe, mustard. So again, that doesn't look like mustard to me. That kind of looks like more of like a very warm brown. So this little guy is my favorite. I'm going to color him in white. So I'm using a light gray color just to add a little bit of shadows, and then also the sugared almond pink for a little blush on his cheeks and a little color on the inside of his ears. I'm using a little bit darker gray on this guy because I want him to be also a white color. And I'm holding my image different ways because I'm using a water brush. I'm only dipping the water brush into water. I don't have it filled up. But if I don't want the water or the liquid to flow a certain way, then I'll tip my paper so it doesn't go where I don't want it to go. So this little guy, I believe I'm coloring him in beige. And of course the inside is a sugared almond pink. And this guy right here, I'm coloring him in a light brown and a dark brown for his ears. I had colored his ears a different color, like a dark oatmeal, and it was a little bit too green for me. So that's why I added the dark brown. So I am going to do a little bit of masking today. So I've stamped out these 5 images on some masking paper. This is the Inka Dinka Doo stamping mask paper. And you will have to stamp your images and then fussy cut the images out. So I've taken the Frilly window frame die and I've cut out the background piece and also that window piece. And that window piece right there is kind of a scratch paper. I'm using that temporarily, and I'm posting it down on that background piece because I'm going to do my stamping, but I didn't want to adhere my real window just yet. So I have my Misty, and I'm first stamping out my little Chihuahua. And once I've stamped him out, then I will go ahead and mask him. So anything that you want to see the whole thing of, you stamp first. So anything in the foreground, you stamp first. And after you stamp, you always mask after. So this guy is the bulldog. I'm going to stamp him, and then I'm going to go ahead and then mask him off right away. As you stamp each image, It'll look a little bit crazy, but it looks so nice once you peel all of the masking paper off. So here we have our little dachshund. So I'm just placing him, I'm making sure that I'm not covering the eye, and then we're going to stamp him, and then we're going to go ahead and mask him. So I'm going to work on my little second layer of dogs, and they'll just be a group of dogs just peeking out of the window. I thought that would be a cute little scene. So we have this dog here, and then we're going to carefully place him. And then you can see how crazy it looks, the stamping, but it's fine. And this masking paper is so thin, it works really well. So we have our last dog there. You're only going to see a little part of him. And then we're going to stamp him out, and then we're going to lift the mask so you can see what it all looks like, all that hard work. So I don't really mask a lot, but it's so worth it. So that is that. I'm going to remove all of my crazy masks, and then I'm going to color the images again. I have the Copic marker colors that I used before I color the image. Those were the E colors. The images that we colored in the beginning, I'll be making a card after this with those images. These are the W colors, and I really loved how this masking project worked. I don't do that entirely enough, and I totally should. And it kind of reduces bulk on your card, which I like, because sometimes I feel like having a bulky card and sometimes I don't. But I just really liked the look of it, and I just really liked how I was able to use a lot of dogs looking outside of that window. It's always fun to color these dogs because I always like to color them like other dogs that I've seen in real life. And it's really fun to choose colors. Just remember, there's some colors that you might not think you can use, but you can. Like you can use, a lot of the YRs, a lot of the flesh tone colors, all of the E colors. Of course, you can use your grays to make a white dog. So just experiment with all the different colors that you can use. I'm going to add another window frame that I've cut out in copy paper as a mask because I want to do some ink blending. At the bottom, I want it to be just yellow, just to add just some bright colors. I believe this is the Mama Elephant Buttercup ink. And then for the base of the card, I'm going to ink blend just the sides in the pink color. I believe that's bubblegum. I'm going to stamp out the sentiment up front using that bubblegum pink Mama Elephant ink. I'm going to do it a couple times because I want it nice and bold. Now I'm going to take my real window panel, and then I'm going to do some scoring to make sure that the windows open up. And then I'll be removing all of those masks that I have and that copy paper piece. And then I'll put my real window on top of that. I'm going to adhere it with some liquid glue. I loved how it looks like the little puppies are inside the house and they're looking outside of the window. I also decided to use those shutter pieces, so I cut 2 of them out, and I'm quickly ink blending them with the bubblegum pink Mama Elephant ink, and I'm just going to adhere it on either side of the window using some liquid glue. I like the way the window panels kind of open and close. It's a really nice interactive part of the card. I also love that scallop detail piece that comes in the Frilly window set. It's really nice. I like the detailing outside. So I'm going to put some double-sided adhesive foam tape, and then I'm going to mount that Frilly panel on top of just a regular panel 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just so there's like a nice pink edge. And then I'm going to take that card front and put it on a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base. And then I think the window paneling needed just a little bit more, so I cut 2 more pieces, and I'm just cutting out just that frilly piece that looks like lace, and I'm just going to add those two on top of the shutters. I just wanted it to have some additional detail, and I loved how that turned out. So after I adhere that piece, I'm calling this card done. Needed a home for the images that I colored earlier using my zigs. So I'm using the Slim Card Basics die. I have that rectangle piece. I've cut out 2 of the landscape pieces, and I'm ink blending it with Distress Oxide ink in Tumbled Glass and Cracked Pistachio. If you really want a smooth ink blending, I would suggest using the Bristol Smooth cardstock. I use all sorts of paper, but the Bristol Smooth just makes it just really nice and airy. I'm going to take one of the sentiments from the stamp set, and I'm going to just stamp my panel just up on top. And then I'm going to take my different landscape layers from the Slim Card Basics set and just adhere them down. This is a super easy card. I just wanted you to see all of the different puppies in action. So the sentiment on this card is congratulations on your new puppy. And I totally have puppy fever. I love puppies. They're the best. Oh my goodness. But I love the dogs that I have now. And I don't know how I would have survived the quarantine without them, because they just do the funniest things, and it's so fun to see what they do on a daily basis at home. They're totally hilarious. So there's my card. I just wanted to use one of each of the puppies. I'm going to mount it on the scallop piece in the Slim Card Basics card. And I really liked how Lemon Tea Crafts used a smaller card base, just so it looks like the scallop is the base. So I did cut down my panel just a little bit smaller, just so you can see the scallops outside. And that's it. I'm calling that card done. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you join me tomorrow. We're going to take a look at more products for the May 15th release. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Happy crafting. Bye, guys.